America loves to brag about being the world's greatest democracy. But here's the catch. The person with the most votes doesn't always win. And that's not a glitch in the system. It's just the system itself. It's called the Electoral College. It's older than indoor plumbing. It was built for a country that doesn't exist anymore. And it really screws with the idea of one person, one vote. Since the very beginning, origins. The Electoral College wasn't about fairness. Here we go again. It was about control. Founding fathers didn't trust everyday people pick a president. They worried that the uneducated mob, their words, not mine, would make the wrong choice. This really sounds familiar. And let's be clear, it was also about protecting slave states. By tying electors to representation in Congress, they baked the 3/5 compromise right into presidential elections. Slaveholding states got extra weight in the college because enslaved people boosted their population count, even though they couldn't vote. So from day one, the system wasn't democratic. It was a power-sharing compromise between small states and big states, free states and slave states. And the losers were the voters, who thought their voice would actually matter. How it works. Here's the nuts and bolts. There are 538 electoral votes total. A candidate needs 270 to win. Each state gets electors equal to its members in the House plus its 2 senators. What? That means small states automatically get a boost because no matter how tiny they are, they still get 2 Senate-based electors on top of their House count. What a bunch of assholes to set this up like this. Wyoming, with fewer than 600,000 people, gets 3 electors. California, with nearly 44 million people, get 55 because math. But do the math. One Wyoming voter carries about 3.6 times more weight than one Californian. What the hell, man? Same citizenship, different value. Why? Congratulations. You scoop up all 30 of its electoral votes. Millions of people who voted the other way are effectively erased. Do you understand this? I know I'm no scholar. But this is, I don't know what this is. Only Maine and Nebraska split theirs proportionally. So it's not about who gets the most votes. Apparently it's about where you live. Swing states like Pennsylvania or Wisconsin become kingmakers, while millions of voters in safe red or blue states might as well just be invisible. How's that? This is why we call it minority rule baked into the math. When it broke big. Yeah, and it's broken big. More than once. In 1824, Andrew Jackson won the popular vote, but John Quincy Adams slid into the White House after what's been called the corrupt bargain. In 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes lost the popular vote, but won the presidency in a deal that ended Reconstruction, basically abandoning Black Americans to Jim Crow in exchange for power. In 2000, George W. Bush lost the popular vote. But after the Supreme Court stopped the Florida recount, he became president anyway. Man, I remember that. The floating Chad. Isn't that what it was? And in 2016, Hillary Clinton had 3 million more votes than Donald Trump. But Trump still won. That's messed up. And these aren't even freak accidents. These things are built into the system. Modern manipulation. Today, the Electoral College makes swing states really the only states that matter anymore. Candidates spend all their time and money there because the rest of us are already written off. And it's not just that. State legislators are toying with laws that could let them override voters and choose electors themselves. I'm sorry, what kind of bullshit is that? That's not hypothetical. That's been openly discussed. Combine that with Project 2025's dreams of consolidating power, and you've got a system ready-made for abuse. There's also the wild card of faithless electors. The hell is this? People who get picked as electors, but decide to vote differently. God, it's rare, but it has happened. Only recently did the Supreme Court say states could punish or replace them. Great reform debate. So what do we do about this antique disaster? Some say to abolish the Electoral College altogether, but that takes a constitutional amendment. Not impossible, but realistically, the states that benefit from this imbalance are never going to agree. Others push the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. States sign on, promising to give their electors to whoever wins the national popular vote, no matter what their own state did. Right now, this is hurting my brain. I'll admit that. I have no problem with that. I've been avoiding this subject for this exact reason. Where was I? Right now, states representing 209 electoral votes have joined. Once it hits 270, the college is effectively neutralized. And then there are smaller fixes, of course. Splitting votes proportionately, like Maine and Nebraska, or pairing it with ranked choice voting. But all of it requires political will, and the people in charge don't exactly line up to give their power away. Why it matters now? This isn't just a history lesson. The Electoral College could determine the 2026 midterm elections, and almost certainly the 2028 presidential elections. We are heading into another moment where the minority rule could override majority will. And with extremist playbooks like Project 2025 out in the open, the Electoral College isn't just outdated, it's a loaded weapon sitting on the table. The truth is, the Electoral College is not failing. It's working exactly how it was designed, to keep power concentrated, to keep some votes counting more than others, and to make sure that the people never have the final say. If America wants to really live up to its own hype about democracy, this is the elephant in the room. Not reforming it means that we're okay with having zip codes decide the presidency while millions of voters go unheard. America needs to find the courage to admit that this system is broken, old, and outdated. And then they need to find the guts to fix it. I'm sure I'll do some more videos on this. I didn't want this video to really go on and on and on. I didn't want to make like an hour-long video. So I'm going to break the ice with this one. And we'll do some more deep dives on what the hell this stupid system really is and what we can do about it. And I don't know, maybe we'll get involved in something. Huh? Thanks for sticking around. See you in the next video. More to come.